This is a guitar I received 3 or 4 days ago. I purchased it from a guitar shop in Manchester, New Hampshire, and it arrived. It only took 2.5, 3 days to get to me. And this is a D'Angelico Excel Tammany Orchestra, or OM guitar. Very pretty. I happen to like this kind of dull reddish, red-brown stain. Some people don't. I think it just looks really classy. It is a solid Sitka spruce top. It has laminated Macassar ebony back and sides. Nice ivoroid binding. The finish is a thin gloss finish. Now, I don't know if it's a thin poly finish. My guess is it probably is, because the guitar is made overseas in China. Even though D'Angelico was originally built in New York, the really high-priced, nice archtop guitars, and the new D'Angelico company builds acoustic guitars, archtop guitars, and electric guitars. And they're Josh Lee Turner, who's a wonderful YouTuber out of New York City. He has his own model of this size OM, the Josh Turner model, and many people play the electrics and many people play the archtops. It has a 25-inch scale length, which is just above the Gibson scale length, just under a Martin scale length, so it's in between. When I first took it out of the case, I tuned it up to my standard tuning, which is D standard, D to D, and I didn't touch the truss rod or anything like that. It does have a dual truss rod, and it intonated surprisingly well. I wasn't expecting that. Most guitars don't when you tune them down, especially with a set of light gauge strings and a shorter scale length. So it's now tuned to pitch. It has a little buzzing on it. I'll let you hear a quick sound sample of the buzzes. It needs a little bit of neck relief, and I think that will take care of it. The string height is very, very low, so I may need to shim the saddle just slightly, as well as to tweak the neck relief, but I'm going to try the neck relief first. Solid satin finish neck, a kind of a low oval C, very, very comfortable. Again, ivoroid binding on the neck, around the top. The headstocks on these are very ornate. What I have learned, because I did purchase a used D'Angelico semi-hollow archtop, and through shipping, this piece right here cracked. Didn't fall off, it cracked, and I had it re-glued. This is the weakest part of the guitars, but it's part of their look. Some people would call it gaudy. I call it unique and kind of cool looking. The tuners are gold. They're nice. The tuners themselves are, I don't know what you call that, pyramid style, I guess. They're quite tight, but they tune really well. I had no problems tuning it and getting to hold a tune. So how does it sound? Oh, and it has a Fishman Precis Plus pickup system in it, which does have a tuner, has, of course, low, mids, and highs, has a brilliance knob, a notch knob, and a phase switch. Phase switch is really, really good to have. I did plug it into my Blackstar Sonnet 30 acoustic amplifier, and I was actually surprised how natural it sounded. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not a big fan of under-saddle pickups. This one sounds quite good. So let's hear what it sounds like with a Zoom H4n Pro sitting out in front, and you decide whether you think the sound is good. what I think is it's got a very nice balanced sound, has just enough low end to be pleasing, not enough to muddy it up. Doesn't have as much brilliance as some other guitars. It almost has a little bit of a compressed sound. Now that could be I don't know how thick the top is. It might be the solid Sitka spruce top is a little thicker. Maybe they do that just to make sure they don't have any service problems later on. And maybe the depth of the body and the fact that it's laminated on the back and sides has something to do with that. But it is a very pleasing sound. And plugged in, I did not have to use a lot of volume to get a good volume level coming out of the speaker. So I'm kind of curious what this would sound like with a K&K Pure Western Mini pickup installed in it. If I decide to keep this in my arsenal, which I don't know if I will because I own way too many guitars. Now, I know many of you who think you own too many guitars and you have 2 or 3 or maybe 4. There are those of us in the world who have over 25, which is way too many, especially if many of the cases are black. And speaking of cases, this came with a very nice arch-top hardshell case with D'Angelico embroidered on the top of the case. They must embroider it on the Tolex or whatever you call that covering before they actually glue it down. But it's quite attractive. It's a very, very comfortable case. The only thing I could say about the case is the clasps, although they hold really well, they're not especially heavy duty. I think over time with continued use, they may loosen up or break. That's the only drawback, but that's very common to a lot of hardshell cases in today's world, unless you get a nice upscale case like a Crossrock case, and I've done some videos on those. So it's actually a very nice guitar. Now I have to decide, do I want to keep it and install a K&K Pure Western Mini pickup? And if I do I take out the Fishman, or do I leave it in and leave the end pin for the Fishman and add a second one just below it for the K&K? And that way I can have a dual pickup system where I could run the Fishman through effects and run the K&K pretty much just straight with maybe a little bit of reverb, and kind of tailor to the sound on the Fishman, maybe add a little chorus, keep the volume slightly low so it just sounds sort of like 2 different guitars playing. That might be fun. Anyways, it's a great guitar for someone who is either stay at home, doesn't want to spend a lot of money, but wants an attractive, comfortable guitar, or someone who wants to do open mics or wants to do light gigging. I would say probably for the heavy professional, this would be a guitar that they might use when they travel, or if they're going to do open mics and things like that, but it wouldn't be their #1 guitar. It would be, however, a great second guitar. I'm a firm believer that when I play a gig, I take 2 of everything. 2 mics, 2 mic cords, 2 guitar cords, 2 tuners, and 2 guitars. The reason for that is invariably on any given night, one of the guitars sounds better than the other, and it could even be in the same room, just the next night, because humidity changes, the number of people in the room changes, who knows what it's going to be. Or the fact that if I'm playing my main guitar and a string breaks in the middle of the set, I then don't have to say, excuse me, take 5 minutes to change the string, start back up, and half the crowd is left. I can just set that guitar down, pick up this one, tweak the tuning, and off I go and continue the set. So 2 guitars if you're a professional gigging musician, in my humble opinion. Hope this has helped you. It's helped me. And now I have to decide, am I going to keep the darn thing or sell it?